So the other thing on that note is when you offer someone their current signature frequency, does the higher mind have a separate signature frequency, or is that contained in that idea?
No, it has a separate frequency. We're only talking about a frequency that relates to the idea of physical reality. The higher mind would be operating, as I said, above 333,000 cycles per second. That's where you shift from physical to non-physical reality.
Because that's fifth density.
Yes.
Okay. So then one of the other things that we've spoken about before, or you've mentioned, is the gamma states and the brain waves being between 40 and 100 hertz.
Yes.
And that helps us connect better with our higher selves, our higher mind.
Yes.
And is that because there is a resonance that is created there? Because I think that's where I'm struggling to connect the dots per se.
Yes, there is a resonant relationship there. Yes.
Okay. So by being in the gamma state, that in effect also changes our signature frequency, which then also puts us in a more resonant frequency of the higher mind.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for helping me.
It is our passion and our pleasure. Thank you.
And then if I may, a couple more things. So you've kind of already touched on this, but it also means that lower frequencies aren't necessarily negative. They just might be dissonant to
and also may have their own harmonics that are positive for a variety of different reasons and different effects. Yes.
Okay. And even this idea of integrating as we move forward is about integrating these lower frequencies. It's not about negating them or invalidating them.
No, it's about raising your frequency in a way that is harmonic with the frequencies that you need to maintain a physical reality perspective.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I'd like to touch on awareness and reality, which we've already kind of looked at. You've mentioned this idea that phones and computers, from what I understand, are essentially portals to parallel realities.
We never said it that way, no. What we said is it's a way of training yourself to be able to touch into the idea of parallel realities by using some of your technology, including the concept of your internet. We never said that the devices themselves were portals to parallel realities.
Thank you. Yes, that was my term, I guess, that I was attaching to it. So then, based on that idea, I'm aware of, for instance, right now there are protests happening in America and around the world. There's the virus that's happening. It's not necessarily happening in my reality. It's happening in these parallel realities, which I'm
capable of observing. Yes.
Okay. And then, so to that note, I've seen the fear and the anger, as well as moments of transformation and integration that's happening.
Yes, it's all happening now to give everyone the opportunity to see all the choices and to be able to really choose the vibration they prefer and act accordingly, so that over time you can continue to experience only the reflections of the reality you prefer. But for a while, you will still be able to observe all the different choices that people are making, but that doesn't mean you're being affected by them in any negative way that you don't prefer to be.
So on that note of being affected by them, 3 months ago when this all started happening, I was following a lot of the news, and I became, I guess, ill for about a week. And then again recently with being aware of and following the protests, I became ill for about a week.
All right.
And I'm wondering if I'm matching that energy somehow, or if I'm empathizing in a way that I'm not separating myself from those experiences.
Correct. You're testing yourself. You are feeling out the resonances to see what you do and don't prefer.
Okay. And thank you for reminding me that as long as I stay in a positive state, which I did the first time around, and again now, I'm finding that it's also transforming a lot quicker. I don't see it as a negative experience. It's just that I'm experiencing it, and then I get to choose whether it's positive or negative.
For you, yes. That doesn't mean you don't necessarily recognize when someone takes a negative action. It's not a denial of whether a particular act is positive or negative, but it's simply the ability to recognize that even though someone else may act out of negativity in a certain way, that doesn't mean that you can't transform it into a positive result for yourself.
Yeah. I do feel that I'm not necessarily experiencing the fear or the anger, but I'm experiencing it through those people, or I can attach with what they.
You are observing.
Thank you.
And you can, through your own history and experience, relate. But again, that doesn't mean you have to necessarily choose to match that frequency in the reality that you prefer to be in.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does. I have one more thing. Let me pick one and actually stick to it. So I've noticed that in, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 months, I've been meditating quite consistently, and when I do, I get the sensation just in front of my forehead or around my forehead. I'm actually feeling it right now.
Yeah.
I'm likening it to something like my third eye opening up.
Yes.
Or,
yes.
And well, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to use that experience or use what is happening.
Well, what state of being does it put you in? Does it put you in a state of being using that permission slip that you prefer to be in?
It does.
Then act from that state of being. You know what it feels like. So know that anytime you reflect on or remember what that felt like when you did it, you're in that state of being again, even if it doesn't feel the same. So use it as a guiding mechanism in that way to put yourself in the state of being you prefer to be in, and then take the actions in your life on your passion from that state of being.
Okay. So
you'll be more aligned.
It's my permission slip to switch into that state and then act from that state whenever I choose to. It's just a physical representation.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're doing it through the idea of the third eye, because that helps you see things more clearly.
Bashar, as always, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and much love.
Again, it is our passion and our pleasure. Thank you for the co-creation of the interaction. Good day. And to you, good day.
Greetings, Bashar, from the Pandemic Center of New York City.
Oh, all right. How exciting for you.
It was, but it's very intense.
Yes.
And then today I have 3 topics to discuss with you.
All right. Speak up.
Sure. The first topic is my near-death experience.
How exciting. Do tell.
It was super intense. And then...
You like that word, don't you? Intense.
It is very intense.
Oh, all right, if you say so.
I would like to express my gratitude for all the spirit guides during this process, like Anubians and Kukumas. So how did they know each other?
Well, it depends. Can be part of a soul family, can simply be part of an agreement to assist certain kinds of beings in a certain way. Can be many different reasons that they might interact.
I see. So I feel like this virus actually transformed me. I'm the ground zero of...
Well, in a sense, yes. It's one of the opportunities that it presents to people on your planet to allow themselves to be transformed in a way that might accelerate them toward more of who they wish to be.
So does that mean I'm kind of mutating right now because of the virus?
In a sense, yes, although not necessarily directly because of the virus in terms of a causal way, but in the sense that you're willing to allow yourself to alter your frequency and thus your genetics in response to the reflection brought about by the virus.
So during this process, I constantly seeing the triangles, and particularly, well, I didn't do that on purpose, but...
No, but it's a representation of stability.
I see. And then particularly, I also saw the black triangle with the blue light in the background. I'm just wondering, did I get any help from your civilization?
Well, you're tapping into the collective consciousness, so you're doing that to aid and assist yourself, which is perfectly fine. That's why we gave that symbol to all of you, so that you could tap into our collective consciousness and assist yourselves in the stabilization process when you go through these challenges.
So during this challenge, I was informed by my higher self that I will be part of the artificial intelligence. So it shows me that there's a very long hose. It's like connected to the machine and then attached to my third eye. And then my higher self said, do not be afraid of the machine. I'm wondering how it works.
Well, that's a symbolic representation using symbols that exist in your physical mind to represent what's going on in energy in a higher dimension. It's not a literal machine.
I see.
But it's a way of understanding that you are giving yourself an opportunity to connect more strongly to your higher mind, which is very similar to the idea that people on your planet refer to as higher or artificial intelligence.
So, in other words, I'm not going to get another implant.
No.
I see.